Hey, I'm back. The second subject I want to touch on was because sometimes I need help or advice with this. Um, Me and my kids' father was together for 7 years on and off. Um, he wasn't good to me. He wasn't good to the kids. Let's just put it that way. Um, I've been dealing with bipolar since I've been about, I want to say 11, maybe younger than that. I don't really remember, but I didn't start going to doctors and stuff till I was 13, and I'm 25 now. And uh, when I had my two sons, I guess I passed it on to them. They were just diagnosed with bipolar about a month ago. They tried them on all kind of antidepressant medicines and things like that, and um, they finally put them on. I can't remember the name of it. Risperdal. And my older one's on Risperdal and a half of Prozac. And they take their sleeping medicine at night. Well, it's not really sleeping medicine. It's clotidine. It's blood pressure medicine, but it makes them sleepy because if not, they have insomnia, like just like I do, and they'll stay up to 4 o'clock in the morning. They don't care. So, but that banging that you heard early in my last video, um, that was my son throwing a fit because he couldn't have spaghetti for supper. He's been off his medicine for 4 days because the pharmacy had to order it. And that's the type of things that happen. Like, he goes in his room and he beats his head against the wall and tries to rip the door down, things like that. And it's really hard because 2 videos ago, the first one that I posted in a very long time, that one was talking about how I was having financial trouble raising my kids on my own, so I hit their dad up for child support. And he always told me, you do that and I'm going to walk out their lives. Well, he did. You know, they had a dad their entire life, and just bam, all of a sudden, he's not in it. He's in it when he wants to be. He's a daddy when he wants to be a daddy. But I don't allow that. Either you stay in their life or you stay the fuck out of their life. Bottom line. You know, I'm not going to have my kids, being all... They have enough to deal with, with being bipolar at that young of an age, and just, dealing with their parents splitting up and dealing with the things that their dad did to them and me, or, to me in front of them, and just, I don't know, maybe it's best he stays out their life. I don't know. Um, but yeah. Um, Kids. Dealing with kids and bipolar. Not easy. I know, like, I'm not a very easy person to live with just because of my bipolar. Sometimes I'll go for like 3 weeks without leaving my bedroom. You know, I have the master bedroom, so I shower, I lay in bed, watch TV. If my kids need food or something, of course I'll get up and do that. But I don't go out with my friends. I don't talk to anybody. You know, I'm glad that I caught them this early, so it won't get any worse. Well, it's not supposed to, and I hope it doesn't get as bad as my bipolar, because I still struggle to this day. And people are like, oh, everybody's bipolar, no, no, no. They have different levels of bipolar, and my kids are probably more towards the lower, like between the middle and the lowest, because you can tell if they're not on the medicine, something's not right. A child he was about 5 years old when he started self-mutilating himself and talking about death. Where does he learn that from? A 5-year-old don't learn that, from TV or wanting to be an emo kid or nothing like that, So, yeah. But it's hard to deal with. It really is. And, you know, I know from personal experiences that it's not easy to deal with. And it's not, it damn sure isn't easy being a mother that's bipolar, like to the highest extent, dealing with two sons that are bipolar. My older one is more aggressive when he's mad. My younger one he was a little slower on learning things and talking, and he would always cry when something happened, and he wouldn't talk. And now that he's on his medicine, you know, he's, oh, mommy, I love you, I missed you today. He actually has a personality, and it's really good. And for all those people out there, they're like, oh, you crazy putting those little kids on medicines and diagnosing them bipolar at such a young age. If y'all were to see my children before they were on their medication and then to see them now, you would never say, do not put a child on medication ever again. I'm telling you, it's like two different kids now. I mean, it was hard for us to even go like to Chuck E. Cheese or to Walmart to grab some groceries. You know, it was hard. And now I love it. Like it's you know, they do what they're supposed to do. They whenever they're asked to do something, they do it. Yeah. So I mean, if anybody else is having problems with their kids or they think their kids are depressed or something, you know, don't hesitate. At least, you know, try therapy, something. But don't hesitate to try them on medications because, you know, it took a couple of them to see which ones would work. I'm still trying to find the right medication for me, and I've been dealing with it for 13 years. 13 years now? Yeah, almost 13 years. So, don't, don't ever hesitate. You know, I have them in therapy too, and you know it helps. It helps. You know, so because sometimes they'll tell me things that bother them in therapy that they don't tell me at home. You know, so yeah. I don't know, but sometimes I might come on here and like today I just want to rip my hair out of my head, but I stay calm, and it's just it's very hard dealing with kids and with their bipolar, especially when you're bipolar. It's like, you know, you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do sometimes. You know that you would act the same way if you weren't on your medication. So why are you going to punish them for how they're acting? You can't. You can't punish them for a disease that they have. They have something wrong with them, you know, and punishing them because they can't control their anger is not going to help anything. So, yeah. That's all I really wanted to say about that. If anybody else has, you know, bipolar or deals with their kids that have bipolar, let me know. I want to see, you know, talk about, you know, how you handle the situations. And I try not to blow my lid sometimes, because sometimes I'm just like, ah! But yeah. Alright, well, I'm gonna go for now. I made 2 videos today, so I think that's enough. Yeah, so I'll talk to you later. Bye.